The topic of the pavilion is addressing the question of how will we live together through looking at traditions of mutual support. These traditions exist in most countries around the world, and it's been a way to cope in the face of calamities or natural disasters or in the everyday. In Norway, where I'm from, we call it dugnad, and in the Philippines it's called
Bayanihan.
and it's been a way for organizing people to come together, to work together, and to help each other in times of need.
So the building here was built with a community in the Philippines, in Bulacan, for the GK Enchanted Farm community. So this was built through Bayanihan, through a series of workshops that we did with volunteers, 20 adults and 10 youth volunteers. So we spent about a month doing workshops and trying to understand what it is that the community really needed to address their pressing needs and also their desires. So at the end of the day, we built this library and a conflict mediation space with the conditions that they have on site. They really needed a space to be private, a space for quiet time, and a place to study for the children, and a place to sometimes mediate issues within the community. So this is the result of that. It was built with a local material and the local craftsmen that we had on site, and some of the participants of the workshops also participated in the building of this structure. So it was built substantially up to about 80% in the Philippines, and then it was shipped here to Venice, and it's installed here now. And it will be shipped back to the Philippines to become a permanent part of the community.
In the Philippines, bayanihan has also been a way to move houses from one location to the other. So the practice of bayanihan, which is the Filipino tradition of mutual support, is also this idea of moving the pavilion to Venice and back again. These traditions, they predate the market economy. They have been around for ages, and they're naturally emerging when something happens. So they're based on different values, experiences, knowledge, resources, than those that have kind of created the climate emergency, the human conflicts that we have today. So I think it's a really important tradition to look at, to be able to see how we could alternatively or find alternative ways of living together.
The question of how will we live together is also a question of how we build together. So this is a structure that was built together, and it's an example of, like Alex was saying, these alternative forms of building that allow us to build something with a more diverse set of values that are embedded within the architecture.
So the pavilion also addresses the question of how we make architecture through these traditions. And what's important there is that these are concepts or ways of organizing that belongs to the people and the architect, and the knowledge of the architect becomes one of many in a group like this. So the experience knowledge or the knowledge that people carry with them within these traditions are as important as architectural expertise that we kind of support in that process. So in a way, it's a way of working together. Yeah.